gonna set my soul on fire.
Johnny, a week or so ago we did a show about Benjamin Netanyahu and a couple of his cronies and some members of Hamas being charged with war crimes. It seems that's come to pass. Yeah, they have, Johnny. I don't know whether it's going to do any good, but that's what's happened.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has announced he's seeking arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and 3 Hamas leaders, the head of the group, Yahya Sinwar, the head of the political bureau, Ismail Haniyeh, and the head of Hamas's militant wing, the Al-Qassam Brigades, Mohammed Deif.
But Johnny, what does this mean? What does it mean, Johnny? Well, it means that the ICC seems to be pushing for the very act of war to be illegal. War illegal? Yeah, how would that be? Well, I suppose it's... if people are just going to go out and engage in war against people, the very act of it could be now deemed illegal. Well, and it's about bloody time.
Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, while he's been ducking interviews on Israeli TV, he's been running to U.S. media. So he goes and speaks to George Stephanopoulos here, and he says some things, man. I don't know how he gets away with this stuff.
I want to bring in the Prime Minister right now. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You've been accused of using starvation as a weapon of war. I know you've called...
Well, I think this is absurd. This is beyond outrageous. He's saying that we're starving people. You know, we have supplied 500,000 tons of food and medicine.
Now, we have to remember, Johnny, that Israel and the US, they're not members of the ICC. They opted out and said, we don't want to have anything to do with that sort of thing. We don't want to have some higher body above us telling us what to do.
The ICC has chosen to target Israel with baseless and illegitimate arrest warrants. America should punish the ICC and put Karim Khan back in his place. And if the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leaders, we know that America will be next. There is a reason that we've never endorsed the International Criminal Court, because it is a direct affront to our own sovereignty. We don't put any international body among or above American sovereignty, and Israel doesn't do that either.
Have a listen to him. In fact, jail mightn't be a bad place to put these leaders. Can you imagine if these leaders actually went to jail, like poor old Julian Assange? Julian Assange? What's he got to do with a bloody... Yeah, Julian Assange. Then the next leaders might come along and say, oh, I'm not going to declare war on anybody. I'll end up in jail.
If you were on the fence about what's happening in Gaza, here's Bibi Netanyahu before his latest assault in Gaza, describing exactly what he's doing and the Israeli army is doing and calling it terrorism. Do you want to see it? Here it is. Listen, this is kind of amazing.
What terrorists do is target the innocent deliberately. And therefore, my definition of terrorism is the systematic and deliberate attack, the murder, maiming, and menacing of innocents, civilians, for political goals. You can tell a lot about terrorists, but what happens when they come to power? Those who fight for freedom and come to power do not impose terrorism. Those who do, who fight in terroristic means, end up as being masters of terrorist states. Philly Zone.
They want to be free to commit anything they want, anything they deem necessary to win the bloody war, whether it's a war crime or not. So, Julian Assange, who's a journalist mainly, for exposing the truth, especially about American war crimes, he's threatened with bloody 700 years jail or whatever it is. But the Americans, they just want to feel free to go about doing whatever fucking war crimes they want to do without any repercussion. And it's the height of insolent bloody arrogance that these people say this shit.
Leaders, we know that America will be next. There is a reason that we've never endorsed the International Criminal Court.
Here's Lindsey Graham kind of reflecting on what the ICC's attempt to arrest Netanyahu and Hamas leaders might mean for the US, and it doesn't go down well. And what
So we, hopefully, together will find a way to rest our displeasure with the ICC, because if they'll do this to Israel, we're next. This group tried to come after our soldiers. Yeah, you can clap off.
He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. Like that. If this International Criminal Court start arresting all war criminals, why, nobody's going to be safe. Tony Blair, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, all of our finest war criminals.
Do you mean to say that their leaders may have to ask the people, their own people, whether they can go to war or not? Oh, Johnny, that'll never work.
There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there.